Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in just a moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to give folks a little time to get in. I'll check the chat while we're looking. Yeah, we're going to start at about 7:10, but I can still say hello to everybody. So if you can't talk, no worries. Drop it in the comment. How you feeling? Where are you tuning in from? So I can shout out your city. I can't play Beyonce on YouTube, so let me chill. Let me chill with the music. Y'all know that for our inner processes, I love music. So shout out to Bowie, Maryland. Hey, Bowie, what's up? Oh, wait a minute. Niskawa, New York. Seattle. Okay, Seattle. All right. Who else do we have in the room? Is anybody in Atlanta? Pittsburgh? Okay, Pittsburgh. Come on in the room. All right. No Atlanta. Okay, well, I guess I'm holding it down for Atlanta. No New Orleans. New Orleans. I just left New Orleans. Okay. Okay, California. Yes, California, come through. Come through. Okay, so we got California, we have Pittsburgh, we got Maryland in the house. We are in here. We are covering the bases. All we need is the Virgin Islands or something like that to get started. Come on in. I want to give people, because everybody's system is different. I said I'd get started about 10 minutes after to give people a window. And also so I can just say it one time. So of course, you know, the graphics is gonna, my fro is gonna be moving, my everything is gonna be shifting, but that's okay because we're in shifting season. And I promise I won't be too long, but my tribe is always on my heart. Like when I'm doing things and accepting obligations and different stuff, honey, I'll be thinking about my tribe, you know, and I want you to think about your tribe. I want you to think about tribing up, right? I talked about this last week. So I want you to think about tribing up in many different ways, not just one way in particular. We're going to make some time for you to talk. I promise I will not do all of the talking tonight. The point of this summer series, this Not Like Us energy is for us to not just think about Not Like Us in terms of the song and what he said, or the topic that we are going to be bringing in, but think about for you, what is your Not Like Us, right? You could have been in the Not Like Us crew long before there was a song, being different. And so I'm not getting started or anything. I'm just prepping everybody because I promise I will not be that long. And I know people are going to join as soon as they can. So a lot of times I don't get a chance to just do a quick little prayer. Many of you all know that I have been sharing on IVTV, Every Day I Pray, during the week. And we have also our She Magic monthly circle where we are doing head blessings and special sessions to consecrate ourselves once a month on the first Sunday of the month in our sanctuary. So I guess this will be the time just for you to know at the very beginning, okay, how can you get into the rhythm, into the flow, even when it looks like nothing is going on my main pages. I'm going to explain all of that again today. So we have one more minute, but I want you, even if you're on YouTube, you can comment. I'll catch the comments later. Unfortunately, I can't see it live, but you know, but that's okay. I'll catch it. All right. So welcome again into this space. I got a special word, a message that Spirit said, nope, don't wait, shift with the shift, because this is the Shift Talkers community. This is the Shift Talkers circle. And so we are scheduled for Wednesdays at 1 p.m., right? And so now I'm going to get started. Welcome, everybody. I just wanted us to take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Give a breath. For me, even from where you are, see, feel, and imagine that your breath moves like an oil wind of transformation, and that my words move as a breath returning back to you. And we create a cipher and a cycle of energy today as I share with you this word that I was told to share. Tell the people a delay is not a denial. And then even when I heard it, I thought it was for me, and it is. And so I'm going to spill over a little bit of how this might be of service to you. Now, we all know that your girl has been busy, and I was about to write a little explanation, but we know we cannot depend on the algorithm. We have to become the algorithm. I don't want to give you the points yet, but I'm going to give you 10 points for you to look at this Jupiter in Gemini season and how you may be called to expansion. But even when it doesn't look like it doesn't look like you expect it to look, if it doesn't, if it's coming fast and you feel scattered, if you have been praying or standing in the gap even for somebody else, or somebody's been standing in the gap for you, I want you to consider and run it through these filters, these 10 things that I'm going to tell you, because I'm living it, and I'm always transparent with you. And I know that if what I know is from my spiritual mother is If it's in the chair, it's in the room. And so I'm not exempt. And so if anything, a tag, you're it. I'm getting a chance, I'm getting a chance, right? To tag, you're it, right? You're it. Tag, you're it. I want you to get this. Tag, you're it. Okay? Because I'm coming out, we're getting ready to come out of the Gemini season in one way for the month of concentrated Gemini energy from about May 21st until June 21st, which is the solstice, right? And it's also the cuspian energy that we're going into this weekend. And so it's some things I wanted to tell the larger community, because I told people on IVTV, but I didn't tell the Rebirth Tribe. I didn't tell those of you who are in the She Magic community everything I think that is important for you to know, especially if you can feel it like I'm feeling it. Now, you may not feel it like I'm feeling it because I am a Gemini, but if you are a Sagittarius, if you are a Libra, Aquarius, or Virgo, you might want to shout yourself out in the comments because you're going to feel it. Gemini is the opposite of Sag. Jupiter moving into Gemini, Sag is governed by Jupiter. So there's a real dance. I was illustrating to somebody in the frequency reading that I had today. The Jupiter Gemini dance is kind of like this, like this. It's like opposites, right? You gotta experience this and get this wisdom. This is expansion season, and it's going to be easy expansion for some things that you've prayed for things that you have gotten in position to receive, for things that you may have lost last year, because last year was full of loss. It was full of revisiting, because it was a 7-planet retrograde last year that affected us for a long period of time coming into this year. And then we had the eclipse, the solar eclipse, which is lasting for years to come. We still are going through a full rotation of this particular solar eclipse. So don't think that, oh, it's over. No. This is an energy that's collecting energy. A solar eclipse has an effect on the waters. It has an effect on the climate, on the atmosphere. And so we are still atmosphere. But how many of you want to know today how to be an atmosphere setter? Because the atmosphere could still be being set for you. I want you to understand. And that's what's been happening with me. That, the funny thing is, I look at the forecast for myself before I start talking to you all about it. And sometimes I get caught up. I might say, wait a minute, like last year in retrograde, there was a lot of revisiting, even doing things twice. And so I was so focused on teaching and sharing with you all about this upcoming Aries energy, Aries and Chiron, that really is governing even that solar eclipse, right? So Aries, you could throw yourself in the mix a little bit, but this particular Jupiter in Gemini, and I'm going somewhere with this. Don't be saying I don't understand all this language yet. You know that you were born on a day. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that day matters and it brings a message for your life. And so you need to get a reading and just listen and pay attention to how you feel, what's been happening around you. So what I was saying is I go and I check, right? And check it out. And I check what's going on for myself. And so last year when I was trying to prepare you all, I said, girl, you better go check and see where Aries is in your chart. So I did that. And I said, oh my. That's the solar eclipse, quite frankly, made me nervous. In fact, I knew because of the positioning that I needed to be extremely still. Some people went out in it. Some people took energy from it. But solar eclipses can bring a little chaos energy. So from last year until that solar eclipse and now, in this, when around my birthday is when things started shifting. And I know for me, everything that I prayed for was sped up. But what was required of me was obedience as a highest form of sacrifice. Obedience to what? So glad you asked. Not obedience to anybody outside of myself, but I had to be obedient to my purpose, to my divine assignment. And even though this is an 8 prosperity year, the prosperity has to come through you being obedient to a higher purpose, a higher calling. It cannot just be about the bag. It cannot just be about the money. So I found myself energetically divesting from the marketplace ways, particularly online. My spiritual eyes could see and call BS for a long time, but it was becoming more refined and less investment of even tolerating or playing the game. Because those of you who aspire to be online business owners, you don't know there's another side of the game. Like Erykah Badu says, there's the other side of the game. And so even though you sometimes can know the game as a business owner, you don't have to play it. And a lot of times I wouldn't play it as a business owner the way that other people played it. And when I tried to play it the way they played it, it would make me sick. So that's how I started teaching the spiritual entrepreneurship and that type of thing. And so, but I found myself divesting even more. I want to go live, but someone said, be quiet. I just wait a little longer. This is for you. And then I'm like, okay, but because I'm used to being very structured, keeping my commitments to the point of being a kamikaze. Like I'll go all out to keep my commitments and be loyal and judge myself harshly, even sometimes, especially like all the things. And Spirit has been saying to me, you got to do business different. This is we're running a feminine business here. My husband, the things I like, listen, I'm talking fast to get us somewhere. I want you to pick up what I'm putting down, because I'm also confessing and being transparent with some of my clients and my community, because you all, some of you are used to me coming and pouring in the private spaces outside of our She Magic Sunday. Some of you are used to me posting. Spirit said, nope, we're not casting our pearls anymore. Because think about casting and what a cast net is when you're fishing, but also casting in understanding the arts, the feminine arts or the crafts. Casting. Where are you casting your net? And there were some things that manifested so powerfully for me in a moment of that retrograde ass kick that we received last year, where I had to face a higher calling that I had been resistant to. And this is where spiritual partnership is important, accountability and sisterhood, because other people who love you in that way will hold space for you, call you out, and create and therefore facilitate you coming into awarenesses. And sometimes it'll come through a question, it'll come through an affirmation, or just call you out, like, you're running, you're resistant, or I see this all over you. Sometimes it's a spiritual reading. You've been told what's in your future, what to do, and what is alignment. I've had it all, thank God. But this particular time, I went into a space that was almost guttural. And I spoke what my fear was and why I had been resistant to it and why certain things wasn't feeling good, even if I know how to do a thing. Who am I talking to? I know I'm talking about me, but who else am I talking to? I'm asking you to hear what I'm saying, because it kind of blew me away, the manifestation. It literally was like a portal open, like Indiana Jones or those adventure movies where everybody's going through the obstacle course and feel almost drowning, hitting a pit of snakes and doing, you know what I mean? And then they find this key, or they have this thing, they insert it and it unlocks. I want that for you, because it happened for me. It came at me fast. Readings and rituals and divination and all of that said that it would, even the pieces that I'm telling you astrologically. This is why I come in and I talk so much about the planets and the planetary influence, particularly for those of us who are mothers of civilization. It is important for us to understand our own circadian rhythm, our cycle, our inner calendar, because it may be time for you to understand that a delay is not a denial, but something else is required for you. So I want to give you 10 ways to consider. Anybody picking up what I'm putting down? I want to make sure I'm recording. I want to make sure that I'm getting this. I want to make sure yeah, okay, I'm getting it. Yeah, all right. Number one, I said it. You got to become the algorithm. But the thing is, that piercing solar energy was reprogramming many of us. And it's not going to look like what we might think. A portal open. And at times it would even feel a little bit like, what are you doing? Like, you know, like this used to be my favorite saying. When you come to the end of all you know, you will go to the edge and you'll look down and you'll either leap and earn your wings, or you'll jump and fall safely into the safe space. In other words, you cannot lose. But a lot of times we'll come to the edge of all we know and think that we are doing something wrong, or we got to do more of something else. And literally it will cause us sometimes to judge ourselves, to pull back, to think that something is not right. I went there for a minute because I'm used to doing things in a certain way. And y'all know, if you haven't been a part of the I Say Yes to Myself, then I want you to go get that in my Rebirth Marketplace in the store, or I'll post it somewhere for you, because I promise you the game of yes does not stop. It keeps on building. And when you say yes to yourself, you say yes to something, even especially the thing that makes the pee run down your leg a little bit that you're afraid of. That thing right there, even if that thing is surrendering. And so I had said yes. I said, okay, in that guttural experience of what I was afraid of saying yes to, that was on the higher calling, I said, okay, I'm saying yes now. It was all around me. I did some things. Then I started getting ancestral confirmations. Then I started getting invitations. And then I started doing the thing that I know I'm supposed to do. And one of them for me is prayer. That's one of the ways that my gifts work. This is one of the ways that I get prophetic guidance and downloads. I don't even understand it. I literally can't. That's the first place I started understanding my particular gift and how it works. And it truly is a game changer. Be the algorithm. I've often said it, even in the years of me doing Rebirth Sunday, every Sunday for 3 years, not missing a Sunday, every holiday in Tribe. I say, I never convince anybody to pray. That your life and the desires of your heart or whatever you're going through ought to send you to prayer. Prayer is not supposed to be convenient. Become the algorithm. We'll wake up and roll over and jump into the algorithm of Instagram and TikTok. I know I've done it, especially if you got perimenopause. You wake up in the middle of the night. You start checking, you start doing it, but become the algorithm. Prayer is going to be your best friend. I offer opportunities to pray, but I'll never convince you. It's there. You are supposed to put that on your calendar, on your alarm clock, because of how big of your desires and your game. So then number 2, I had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to move in the direction of the thing that I had dismissed. Yeah, there may be some times where you have to revisit something that you said you never returned to or wasn't for you, that type of thing. That might just be a conversation, a book, a place, a practice. And so I moved I had to move something. I had to move something. Even when I look at this menopausal journey, I had a domino effect of experiences from initiation to the initiation made me be still. In the being still, it caused some, the weight gain. It caused some other things, and it's taken me a while because then I had an injury. Coming out of initiation, I'm getting ready to come out and I'm ready to lose the weight. And so I'm exercising and did something to my foot. So now I can't move like I normally move. But what can happen is you keep the domino effect in our lives can keep on loading in one experience after another that sets you in a different motion or not in motion at all. And so I had to get in motion. I had to take command over my body again, because my health now was being affected. It was just a series of events. Plus, hey, I'm a little vain. I got Libra rising. I want to look good. I'm not liking how I feel. But then there's also some acceptance that has to come with this journey of womanhood and the seasons that we're in. That's a whole separate panel discussion or something. And so I had to, so help me out in the comments. We're on number 3, right? We're on number 3. Who's going to be my scribe, right? Uh-oh, let me see. Somebody might already be doing it. Okay, so now let's get to number 3. So then I've been given a prescription, a spiritual prescription on how to make my next moves. And sometimes we move, but then we don't move in decency and order. And so make sure, number 3, that your steps are ordered. For me, that required me doing some check-ins, using my tools before I said yes to the next thing, before I made a final decision. I had to have some checkpoints, use my tools. Make sure your steps are ordered. First, you got to make the decision to move. Then make sure your steps are ordered. And I do want you to consider coming into spaces so that you can learn more about reading and divination and things that you can do, or get a reading and understand how to move. I'm going back to Jupiter and Gemini and why this matters, because Jupiter is going to be in Gemini for a year. This is why I'm emphasizing this tonight, because we're getting ready to go into summer solstice. And so like I said, we got so many things that are adding on the movement, but things are in motion like never before. And it's a beautiful energy. It's a loving energy. But if love has been a trigger for you, or love has been counterfeit, as my friend Elder Vicki Johnson says, a doctor, Elder Vicki Johnson, that says counterfeit love, then you might have a little work to do. So number 4, after I made sure that my steps was ordered, I measured once, I measured twice, excuse me. I measured twice and cut once. Yep, I still checked. I checked again. Not for hesitation, but for order. See, when you are becoming the priestess of your own household, you just can't move on emotions, and you certainly don't want to move on ego. Because the invitation that was answered prayers was big. It was bigger than what I really had imagined. And it required something of me. And I wanted to make sure that not only was I in order with my ancestors and with my elders, because I'm also accountable. I know we think we're grown, but spiritual covering is a blessing. And so, okay, so now I'm checking. But then there were other things that were happening in my bloodline, in my family. I lost some family members. Life happens. Number 5, surrender when life happens, because life is going to happen. When you're up for something big, when you're getting ready to do something big, sometimes life will happen and you have to make a decision on whether you're going to happen to your life. I had a family member, I have had elders who were not well. I wanted to go fly to their bedside. Something said, don't move yet. I listened. I'm glad I listened. Then on my way to be with my mom to memorialize another elder in my family transition. And life happened. Now, I couldn't be sad because they lived long lives. They left a legacy of love. There was elevation, ancestral veneration even in their transition. And I thank God for that, but there was still movement. I went to Mississippi, then I had to go to the next place. And the same way that I've been letting spirit lead me, revelation has been coming, portals have been coming, relationships have been healed, and all types of openings are happening. I'm seeing it in my family. Family matters. But it was fast and it was requiring a lot of me, a lot of movement. I said yes. I knew that when I came back from that, I had the next thing to do, and the next thing to do, and the next thing to do. Now, even though all of this was divinely ordered, life was happening, and it was happening fast. It was a financial demand. I didn't know how I was going to do certain things that I said yes to, but I said yes anyway, and the evidence showed up. Happened to your life. Where are we on the number? On this number? Who's helping me? Happened to your life. A lot of times we are waiting for permission. We got evidence. We want evidence. We need out there to inform over here. The next thing is, I'm gonna take it as 6. I thought I was still on 5. So y'all help me at the end. So life is going to happen to your life. And so let's just say we are on number 6. I had to surrender. Let's say number 6. I did say surrender. You got to surrender. No, I says that's number, whatever. Surrender when life happen to your life. That's all together. So let's say we're on number 6. I couldn't pull back. I had to commit. I said yes. I had to happen to my life because life was happening. I had to commit to everything. And this is where I want to teach a little bit. Because this Jupiter in Gemini is requiring a commitment and no back doors to playing a bigger game in love, sex, money, but all of it has to be purposeful. It cannot be just to feed the ego. It cannot be doing what everybody else is doing when you know that you're different. That thing that made you different, that made you stand out, that made you quirky to other people. This is the season now for it to start taking on abundance. This is a feminine abundance season. But becoming the priestess of your own household means that if you want lack to be lifted out of your bloodline, you're going to have to follow those first 6 steps and sometimes repeat and go back to them, because this is a new program energy that we're moving into planetarily. So these old narratives that are sabotaging us and keeping us stuck and keeping us in inertia are being power blasted. So this Jupiter and Gemini season, there was a retrograde 4 years ago with this same type of energy, but now it's open. The portals are open. So think about where you were 4 years ago. Did things seem closed or a little bit more challenging, or did you internalize something that needed to be spoken on? See, Gemini doesn't just cover being a social butterfly. Gemini covers duality. Gemini energy, Jupiter is how you're growing in Gemini energy, and this is about communication, travel. It's about expansion, your mental health, your mindset. It's about how you process information. It's about learning new things. It's about unlearning. To do a new thing, sometimes you got to be the new thing before the evidence shows up or rise to the occasion, because the territory is expanding, the ground is fertile, and there's an alignment of Jupiter and in this season with Venus. And then we're getting ready to go into this summer solstice that now brings us into Cancerian energy. This is fertile ground now. This is still, see, one crop you plant in the spring, another crop you plant in the summer. These are cycles. So, when we talk about we outside, you can't just be outside to be outside in this energy. Your outside has to have a purpose because your inside is clear. So, it came fast. It almost felt unbelievable. I'm catching my words so that I don't cancel out my blessings. And so I would say then number 6, it would be the time to monitor your mouth. Because unto you as you believe, you get to be right or you get to be free. You get to be elevated or you get to be incarcerated. You get to be responsible or you get to be non-responsive. Responsible means I am response-able. Non-responsive is in the place of numbness, letting life happen to you, always a victim. Watch your mouth during this season. It's going to come back to you. pressed down, shaken up, and running over. Watch your mouth. You say you can't, you can't. You say you're willing, the universe will meet you halfway. If you say, show me how, God, creating me a clean heart, renewing me a right spirit. I want to do this. I desire this. That's for me. But if you keep on the same narrative of looking at your bank account to decide what your next move is, then you'll always be incarcerated to being an employee, where somebody controls what your incoming is. You are the money, the magnet, the conjurer, the conjure woman. You are the crystal, you are the stone, you are the church, you are the sanctuary. And how you expand your territory is not going to be like how everybody else expands their territory, because your Jupiter may be in a different placement. This is why you come get readings. This is why I offered the reading to the IVTV crew. I'm extending it to you. I'm going to leave it up one more day for you to take advantage to see where your Jupiter is in Gemini, plus get a frequency reading. So it's on special right now on my link tree. The link is in my bio. I'll put it in the description below as well. But number 7, I think I'm on number 7. Why am I looking for water for number 7? There are certain things. 7 is the number of completion. There are some things that are complete. It's finished. And the chaos that you and I feel is when we keep trying to do it the old way or think it's supposed to look another way. My schedule has been full. I have been booked and busy. It did not come like I thought it was going to come. And then, okay, I'm going to jump ahead to number 8. I'll come back to number 7, but I had to create some boundaries, because in my drought season, what was a drought to me, what appeared like a drought to me, and in the season of disruptions, being scammed last year, having some disappointment and some losses, some of my yeses, I didn't factor in me. I didn't factor in life happening. I didn't give myself any spaces. Your number 8 is yes to infinite possibilities and radical self-care. They can go together. You will need radical self-care as a form of abundance, and that includes pleasure, that includes pausing, that includes prayer, as I started at the beginning. These are the other power of the P's for the feminine. I said I come back to 7 because sometimes when something is complete, we want to go back and get it. And it's not complete because anything is wrong. It's complete because as you expand your territory, it's time for you to grow, which brings me to 9. 9 represents the end of a cycle, right? This is birth, death, rebirth. This is service, high level service. Think more about why you are here on the planet, what you are put here to do. Bigger than just to pay the bills. So this is your rebirth season. If you agree, number 9, it's your rebirth season too. And number 10, thank you for those of you who are tracking. I'm going to try to recap this for those who are in the tribe. In writing, I'm going to post it in writing for you, maybe even add to it, maybe just a special little blog post that I do for you, because Jupiter is going to be in Gemini for a year. I want you to consider number 10 to practice radical honesty. But it begins with yourself. Tell yourself the truth about what you really desire, what you are afraid of, what you think is too big for you, that's going to inconvenience you if you were to stand in that commitment that I just talked about. I have been complaining, and I've been noticing some things about social media. I knew I needed to divest from face putting so much energy and I mean hours sometimes with a post with graphics. I felt like I was wasting not only my brain cells, but I knew that there was more for me to do. Yes, there are times when I needed help, and there were times I had help. And then there were times where I just got into a I'm gonna do it myself thing. I can do it, but no, I can't. So just in case I'm off track, let this be the bonus 11. Expanded territory requires expanded everything. It's time for you to shift everything again. Expansion requires the shift. And I have been shifting from one day, from one week to another. And to some of my clients, I know it looks crazy because there are women in Juicy or want to get in Juicy. And the schedule, there have been things that have happened that have thrown life happened at the same time I answered a higher calling. Yana told me the other day, and they said, "Oh, don't name drop." I'm not name dropping, but I want to give honor to having guidance. And then when you get ready for some type of spiritual elevation, sometimes certain things happen and you're like, dang, like, why is this happening? And the temptation will be to quit, to question, to pull back, to come to the edge of all you know. And you will either look or leap. Look or leap. Look to the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the law of love. This is a loving energy. If anything unlike love is showing up right now as you expand your territory, conjure and call in, then it's ego. It's the old story. It's the reluctance to lead. It's the, yes, you are the one. I actually happen to have a window one of these weeks where I would, oh yeah. So when I went for my son's graduation, I had a window to wait. I had to wait. That's what it was. On graduation day, you only have a limited number. So I had a window to watch a movie, and I watched Matrix. Y'all know The Matrix is my all-time favorite movie. And maybe we'll do a decode for one of these Sundays, or like we'll schedule this like maybe for July, we'll do a Matrix decode for our Sunday, because then you can look at the parallels in your life. And it was fabulous, the lessons in it. And Neo had forgotten who he was. And so did Trinity. But their DNA, something kept on talking to them. I say that to say it's easy to fall back when you feel like, and it's easy for people to want to pull you back and manage your gifts. Be careful who you keep company with. You may have to say, just as much as you're saying yes to something, those numbers, those boundaries that you create, what number was the boundary, y'all? But when you create those boundaries, it may require you to say no to some things, or some things may say no to you. Don't freak out. The delay is not a denial. The delay is not a denial. I'm saying to my clients, the delay is not a denial. I'm saying to myself, I need an assistant. She hasn't come yet, but people are peeking their head in. I need some virtual, because I had to get to the point of being willing to surrender. It's time that as I step up, I'm going to have to take my hands off some things. I got to trust some people, trust the process, so that my client experience can be smooth. The ministry can run. As I step up into ministry, as I assist others in their ministry, whether it be on IVTV or on the Bravo network, whether it be on a production that has not come to air yet. Come on now, somebody. That's none of my business. But in order for me to play a bigger game and to live passionately in my peace, to still have a pleasure-centered life and not lose my feminine, I have to make some spaces for the pause to replenish, to hydrate, and to be helped, to be supported. That message came to me because my calendar has been absolutely full. I have not done my normal, and it feels good not to be attached to socials in that way. And this is why I'm not doing the live, Spirit. This felt right because one, I know my design type. I'm a manifesting generator, so I'm supposed to pay attention to how things make me feel. Do you know how many years I didn't know my blueprint? How many years I crucified myself because I didn't follow somebody else's cookie cutter method in business, in ministry? My calling is not cookie cutter. And there were times when it felt like it was a delay. My calling. I felt like sometimes I threw myself into the wilderness when I had help, I had support, I had cheerleaders, I have little sisters and big brothers and prayer warriors around me, but it was me. Who am I talking to? It may be you that's blocking this path that's open for you. Get out of your way, sis. You need community in this season. Gemini is about community. It is about seeing both sides of a situation. It is about self-exploration and self-actualization, coexisting. And I have been hearing messages about things I was supposed to do since I've been ordained. I've been hearing about a pastoral call in the evangelism of metaphysics and spirituality, particularly even in initiation and ancestral. And times I would have a model, and this is why I grieved so hard Carlton Pearson's transition, because there were so many things that we talked about that eyes had not seen and ears had not heard. And I didn't get a chance to do what I said I was going to do. Then I lost my prayer partner. Spirit had been showing me, so when you going to do it? When you going to do this that I told you to do? And one yes created a domino effect, opened a portal like in Indiana Jones or like in The Matrix and the Key Maker. Come on, y'all, talk to me. There's a key that you have. It's in your blueprint. It's in your dreams. It's in the desires of your heart. They're not too big for you. Your gifts are making room for you. It's your time. It's your season. Because you say so. You get to be right, or you get to be free that you're delayed for some reason or denied for some reason. I'm telling you, even for my clients, you are right on time. I'm telling myself we're right in time. So I want to give you an opportunity. I'm going to end the live stream on YouTube. If this message resonated with you, this download, this transmission that came through today, and you are okay with an organic flow that sometimes I might have to shift because we're in a shifting season. But I'll always make sure you're notified when you are in the spaces. I've asked you to join Shift Talk, the Shift Talkers community. I would like for you, I'm asking those of you who are in Rebirth Woman on Facebook, I'm asking you to come on over to Shift Talk. I'll post the link. I'm asking those for you who are in Shift Talk broadcast channel on Instagram to follow the link. And those of you who couldn't afford in your mind because you have lack consciousness, because I made it so cheap, $8. Or maybe you just didn't value it. I don't know. But those of you who are in these spaces, I'm asking you to come migrate, shift with me over to Shift Talk. It's completely free. The link is in my bio, or I'll post it below. You'll be able to get to it. Those of you who want to know how to move in this year ahead in terms of your Jupiter and your frequency reading, that really is the key, the frequency reading. If there's anybody in the comment section in the audience today who's had a frequency reading, I want you to tell people how precise it was, how it removed blind spots, how you were able to focus in. And then still there's more. So we're going to do more in our sacred containers because everything ain't for everybody during this season. We are going to continue this summer series. I do want you all to be experts both in the Rebirth 360 Sanctuary. I'm inviting experts to come. And I'm also inviting you all to be a part of the Shift Talkers summer series, Not Like Us. So this is community time to pour. You don't just have to hear my voice. And sometimes we can all talk in here together. So come on in. We got a She Magic Sunday coming up next month. And I'm going to end this now. All the links will be added later below. And I got some other stuff I want to tell just the tribe where we're not broadcasting. That's the advantage of being in the sacred containers. That's not a plug, but that's just real. So come on in the room if you're over on YouTube. I love you. There's nothing